the man who fixes everything. You fix cars?
I can change some oil, do some brake jobs.
Okay.
Yeah, why not?
He's known for his brake jobs. Anyway, so we are doing a hamstring-based posterior chain leg day. Now it's gonna be a little different than what you see because here's why I think this is necessary to put on YouTube. I know that hamstring day won't get a lot of views, but for those of you who care, you see a lot of people with lower back pain, a lot of people with issues, and what's happening is we have an evolution towards posterior. Now it used to be all anterior, which is front of your legs, then it went posterior, and now I'm gonna see a lot of people with a lot of issues later in life because they're doing things all messed up. Another thing is you see a very, very, very heavy focus on hamstring curls, leg extensions. Hamstring curls are fine. I'm not against them. I use them myself. However, if you're relying on those, that puts a lot of pressure on your sciatic, on a lot of places on your body because it's in a fixed plane. We're gonna show you other movements such as a Nordic curl, such as different lunge variations, such as these mini bands right here that are gonna activate everything. And we're also gonna show you how to activate your glute. Because again, you look at this as a chain, glute ties into the hamstring, ties into everything. So anything to add, Colton?
Yeah, man, back to that back pain too. Another huge thing, especially with young athletes we're seeing nowadays, is all these ACL tears. I have a friend that's an orthopedic surgeon actually, and he's seeing more young athletes, you know, females in general, because of the Q angle, the pelvis, they're always in that constant knee knock position. So if we don't strengthen that posterior chain, those ACLs are going, and that's not good for soccer players, any type of running athlete, or anyone in general. We want to maintain that integrity of the knee, and it all starts, you know, with the hips. So on top of that, like Mr. Mark was saying over here, we got, you know, we have the leg curls, which are good to do. We do them, but what's really good is tying in the feet to the ground and doing a lot of closed chain movement as well, making sure that we're really tying in functionally the whole kinetic chain, the hips, with the knees all the way down to even the ankle joint, which is going to help us with avoiding any type of ankle injuries as well. And it all starts at the hip.
And so, to parlay into that, when you activate all those things, this is what you're looking for. Get better hamstrings, better butt, and you feel better overall, better body. So we're gonna start out, this is a warm-up. Now you've seen entire workouts with these mini bands that I had made. However, we're just gonna warm up. So I'm gonna do 2 sets of 8 lateral, up and back, 2 sets of 8 linear, up and back. So for lateral, opposite arm, opposite leg, butt down, chest out, assume the position, out. Out. Cheek to cheek with the hands, butt cheek to cheek. Nice and low. Notice my feet never come like this. That is taking the tension off of your glutes and your hips. You want constant tension in your glutes. If you were to do these a lot, it will burn more than any workout or any jalapeno dinner you ate. So we're gonna do 2 sets of 8, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we roll out. Colton doing his, take a little break.
Keep those feet straight, don't let the feet turn. These things are great.
So you want to come like this. Now again, why he says toes out, when you point like this, your quadricep is going to take over. So by doing it this way, you're working your hips. We're not worried about a quadricep warm up right now. We're worried about getting a nice warm up, get everything firing, everything activated, so when we get to the heavy and the hard stuff, we're ready to rock. Here with it, you're gonna assume the position, butt down, chest out, opposite arm, opposite leg. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and backwards, coordination. If you can get your arm, opposite leg, you're better than 90% of the athletes I coach. And this looks really manly and cool in the gym, doesn't it?
Oh, totally. That constant plane tension, dude. Trying to hold frontal plane while going sagittal.
Nobody knows what the fuck you just said.
I know.
This is fucking YouTube, man. So there's other movements we could do, but again, it's just a warm-up. So we're gonna just save our energy. We're activated, we're ready to go. And we're gonna gradually get our body prepped for what the hard and heavy sets are gonna entail. we are progressing into the heavier movements. So what I'm doing here is just a simple hyperextension. We're not gonna kill it on this, man, just 2 sets of 10. We're just lubing it up, starting with a pinky. Colton, you wanna explain the significance of this and how we're doing it?
Yeah, absolutely, guys. So as we go down, we want to make sure that we're actually squeezing the hamstrings and the glutes, more the glutes. The hamstrings are going to tie in on the way up.
Stop looking at my ass.
If not, I can't help it, dude. It's just there. But honestly, because people tend to only use their lower back, we want to really use this section right here to make sure that we tie in. Is that whole posterior chain again. So this is a really good way to not only strengthen but lengthen your hamstrings to make sure that they're strong and long instead of short, tight, and weak.
Strong and long. Strong and long, baby. That's the focus of the day. But again, you'll see people load up weight, and that's fine. But again, this is what we call pillar prep and movement prep. Pillar prep is more foam rolling, soft tissue work. We're not really doing that in this video. This is movement prep. Movement prep would be all of the movements that will parlay into our major core movements. So movement prep would involve this, the mini bands, etc., etc. Basically, again, it's foreplay.
What's your rep range here, man? What do you want
10.
to do?
I just do 2 sets of 10.
You're pre-facilitating the nervous system, which means you're priming your hips to work instead of just running right into the gym and doing a quick squat right away, and then all of a sudden, why is my lower back hurt? Compared to if you did a set of this, a set of that, and then when you do it, you'll feel your hips fire. You see that all the time.
Also, neural activation as well. You just jump into a heavy squat. Okay, not only are you physically not ready, neurologically you're not ready. It's neural activation. Like before games, what I'll do is something called a 2-inch run, where I come up here, hit. All right, then I come up here, hit, and they're reacting to either my movement or my words. And then what I'll do is I'll go hit. I'll do that 3 times, hit, and then hit. 3 movements, but the arm is slow and the feet are fast. That is a definite example of neural activation. We're not worried about playing a soccer game right now, so we're neurally activating all the muscle groups and our brains so they're ready to fire. So, neutral spine. What is a neutral spine? This is a compressed spine. That's not good. This is an extended spine. That's not good. This right here is a neutral spine. Look at what I'm looking at. About 10 feet in front of me on the floor, fixed in that position. Now I went to I was training a high school team once, and the coach, and one of the kids was deadlifting like this. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing? And he goes, well, the coach told us if you look up, that's where he goes. No way did the coach tell you that. I walked over to the right, the coach was telling another kid to do that. Don't do that. Don't look up, don't look down. By any means, do not look side to side. I don't care if Carrie Underwood streaks naked across from you, all right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this shaker bottle right here, okay? I'm gonna walk out about 10 feet. That sounds about 10, right here. We're gonna look at that bottle the whole entire time. Do this on deadlifts, do this on squats, do this on anything that requires a neutral spine. Now this is my first set, my hips are tight. I'm probably not gonna hit the depth I wanna hit, but by the 3rd set, it'll be nice and moved up. So we're gonna do about 5 sets just to activate everything, get warmed up, and because squats. That's it, they're squats. So come in here, keep an eye on that bottle the whole time. So here's the thing is that I used to keep my reps on squats about 5 to 6. We're just getting everything moving. This is part of our movement prep today. So we still haven't gone into the workout, but workout, 3 or 4 sets. Squat in front of a mirror. You're going to track your body, you're going to mire yourself. I do it. Make sure there's no mirror in front of you. Focus on the neutral spine object. You're going to have to take a break from focusing on third side.
Guys, make sure you got your breathing the right way when you're squatting. Right? Breathe in. You can also also train your breath if you want to hold it for a couple reps. If you're new to it, don't do it. Probably pass out.
Yeah, that's not good. That's the advanced version of it. Hold it the whole The first time a YouTube channel's ever been sued for fucking making someone pass out from a squat. Say oral?
Oral.
Oh.
Wait, what did you think you said?
I thought you said oral.
No, that's...
That's a two lovers.
2019.
Okay, so talk about valgus, knees caving in during squats. When I first started coaching, I didn't have mini bands, so I used to literally get down on my knees in front of the athlete and hold their knees in. You can see where that's awkward for everyone involved, and it might look weird if someone walks in. So what we do when you have valgus, one way to neurally cue is to put a mini band, not the heaviest one, not the lightest one. Usually for most, red will be cool. I'm gonna use blue just because it's the one I grabbed. So what this does, it forces you to mentally push out. Now, I'm not saying everybody does this. You see a lot of, Insta girls out there using these for everything they do in the gym. I'm not suggesting you do that. But I'm suggesting if you need to correct valgus of the knee, which is the caving in of the knee, that you do it just for that mental cue until it's corrected. Once it's corrected, my theory's always been as little equipment as possible. You'll see me wear knee sleeves once in a while when it's cold out because I'm old and shit gets creaky. But, generally speaking, in the summer, I'm not wearing sleeves. All right, let's come back. Set your stance, toes forward. If you slightly point your toes out, that's okay. Some of us need to work on that mobility. Come down.
So you can see, guys, if you were to have, let's say a problem in the kinetic chain, meaning the ankle, the knee, the hip, all the way to the lower back. If you put one of these on, and even do air squats if you're new to squatting, it can actually fix that ankle joint that's always flared up, or the knee tracking issue, or the hip issue. It's really important that you do these.
I just realized this might be the most important leg video you ever see on fucking social media. We're gonna correct a lot of people's issues. Do you wanna try it?
Yeah, I'll do it. Nobody's got perfect hips.
Except for Shakira, man. Shakira has perfect hips. You watch your mouth when you talk about Shakira.
Her music videos in middle school, man.
She makes some hits.
What was that on MTV when they used to play those music videos?
I don't know, man. I've never watched a Shakira video without getting chucked. Just thinking about it, I wish I wore looser pants.
I feel a hamstring fire more up near your earward and
like I said, man,
it inserts in the glute.
Speaking of inserting in glutes, if there was one piece of equipment I would travel with, it would be those mini bands. And if you don't buy mine, that's fine. They're gonna be more expensive. Skills makes them, Perform Better makes them, they're great bands. I like mine because of the resistance levels, and they're all included in a pack. It comes with a really dope bag. It's under 15 bucks. If there's one piece of equipment you buy to travel with, buy mini bands. Buy them, seriously.
I've been doing 12 years pre and post surgical stuff over under a physical therapist, another office I work at, and this is the first thing we have everyone do that goes in there. So,
hey, what's better than rehab? Prehab.
Rehab, absolutely.
Rehab is always better than rehab.
Especially for everyone, including athletes.
Athletes, Gen Pop, you take the average office worker, I'm gonna go without it. So what we're doing here, we did 2 sets of 135, 2 sets of 185, we do a set of 225, and then we're getting into some more hamstring-based movements. All right, think of your body like a pendulum, right? So when you go down, you're gonna have same arm, same leg. You go down, this leg you have your glute flex that promotes stability, and this leg stays straight and goes back up with constant glute flexion. So we're gonna keep these low because if you do too many reps, it will get sloppy. And instead we're gonna go up in weight. We're actually gonna combine pretty heavy load with a lot of balance. And when you balance, like we've talked about before, you're activating muscles that you don't activate in non-balanced type movements. So I do believe they are superior for hypertrophy to things like leg curls and even double leg, bilateral, straight leg deadlifts. So come in here, fire with this, come down, 1. Notice how this is flexed. Everything's flexed.
Make sure that foot stays flat on the floor, guys. Don't let that heel pop up, but make sure your toe doesn't go up either. Just keep the foot flat. You can think about as you go down, you're transferring a little bit of weight towards that heel.
If you need to stabilize between sets, feel free to tap down. The goal is not to. And again, you talk about calf activation.
There you go.
There's no calf raise in the world that's going to activate like this. Slow and controlled.
Alright, film this side.
You go, tighten that glute. Leg straighten. Tighten, tighten, good. See, you can always tap down between sets, between reps.
Here we doing 6.
I did 5. I like these 5.
Yeah, you just start to cash out. You start to get burnt out.
Honestly, it's as much neurologically draining than it is physiologically draining. And talk about mitigating imbalances and helping to prevent lower back pain. Imbalances are huge, especially with soccer players, football players, people who sit in the office, weekend warriors. You're always going to have a dominant side. So here's the thing is that I was feeling amazing like 2-3 years ago. Then the hypertrophy monster bit me in the butt and I just wanted to gain. And once I started coming here to Basement Gym in St. Charles, Illinois, I noticed my body was I wasn't able to train as hard. Things were hurting, I'd have to back off. And I deduced why it was happening. I stopped doing stuff like this. I stopped doing it.
Oh, no.
I'm glad we didn't film that one.
Yeah, no, he did.
Oh.
It was on there.
No.
It's good. That's why we're doing it.
Yep, see if you can stabilize
Why are we
a
loading?
ton of weight on one leg, like there's a lot of, I guarantee you there's a lot of people who could deadlift 700 pounds who can't do 2 of these.
Make sure you have constant tension at the bottom. Don't go down, slam on the ground, and then try and jerk it back up because you use your lower back.
Slow, controlled tension. Keep your glute tight on the opposite leg. Tightening the glute. I'm gonna see if I can do it. You haven't done that in a while. Yeah, my lower back is in a good spot right now.
Yeah.
Like sometimes during deadlifts, my lower back's like, I don't know, what are you doing today? So this is gonna be a little lunge variation where you're gonna load one leg more than the other, but it's gonna even out because you switch arms. We're gonna do 8 total walking that way, 8 total walking back. On the way there, I'm gonna start my right arm, kettlebell right here. On the way back, we use my left arm. Does that make sense? So that way it's even, right? Yep. Right, so you come down. Switch arms. And after all the stuff we've done, glutes, hams, they're gone. There's nothing left.
Mark and I were talking about this. You know, you could do so many types of lunge variations. You can do static, like here.
Curtsy.
You can do curtsy. Yeah. This.
I just like saying curtsy.
I know, it sounds
Curtsy.
sounds like I'm running through a flower field of daisies or something. But you could do static like this, which is good for isolation. At the same time, hitting regular lunges is fantastic because
it's that swing, right?
Yep, that swing phase. Really hit that hip and activate that glute, and then go back. Especially for athletes or anyone considering, because when we do, like, you know, as a doctor, if I do a test on someone who has back pain, I'm going to be like this, right? Trendelenburg test. And if they start to sink in like this, that means that glute med's not supporting. So,
if I miss my karate, how about this? Wow! Karate Kid, bitch!
So
you know, did you not see that coming? Motherfucker's like this. He's like, I don't know what he's doing. And he's like this. He was just he's like, bro, I'm just testing my glute med.
Yeah, I like that. So going to
see, you would have gotten kicked in the face. You didn't expect it. Yeah, you're gonna have lopsided glutes.
Yeah.
Your right glute's gonna be all fat and thick. You're gonna have a J-Lo ass going on the right side. And just like a Kate Moss ass.
Shakira.
Shakira's got some hips though.
I know.
Hips don't lie.
Shakira versus J-Lo in a deadlifting contest. Do you think we could get them to do it?
I don't care, man, as long as they're naked. Honestly though, J-Lo doesn't do it for me. Shakira does. I don't know what that says about my type, but I'm a Shakira kind of guy. If Shakira and Carrie Underwood could have a baby, or at least try and I could watch, it would be a great situation.
You two, bud, take it easy.
This ain't the normal hardcore shit you see on YouTube, right? This is some hippie shit, some hardcore hippie shit. When I'm 80 years old, I'll be dead. When I'm 62 years old, and I'm still walking just fine, my liver will fail, so fuck it. So this is a progression overhead. Oh God, this fucking.
Yeah guys, so you know, we talked about this in the chest training video, make sure, or the unilateral chest video, make sure the breathing, right? So as you're going down, you're breathing in, and then you're kind of holding your breath until you come back up and breathe out on the way up. That's how you get that whole brace for core stability, which is huge.
That's actually all right. So you lock it in. Again, you're locking it in. If you don't lock it in, it's gonna fall.
Yeah. Bye-bye, labor.
All this serratus right here, intercostals.
Totally right in here, man.
Fuck. Yeah, this works. And it's leg day. It's leg day. And we're working our intercostals and our serratus. It's fucking sick.
A 225 standing overhead press, but you can't do these, your shoulder's going to tear at some point. It's not if, it's when it's going to
get. The older I get, the more I realize unilateral is life. Unilateral is life. Period. The end.
Another thing, I don't know if people ask this, I feel I would, you know, if I was new to this, I have an unstable shoulder sometimes, so I try to, it's, you know, depending on like the first movement, maybe I'll do it with the stronger side, but then after that, so I load it with this side, now I'll hit this side, so that way, if any fatigue happens, or let's say the elusive ATP energy is burned during this side, no, I'm kidding. But like, if any,
you had to go there. You had to go there.
Yeah, man, I was reading about your supplements last night.
Yeah, okay.
Fantastic. But no, if, I want to do this side first, right? Because all the muscle recruitment, and if I fatigue here, I know the strong side's going to be able to hold up either way, right? So that's why I started on this side now. So if you have a weaker side, start on that side first. That's the point.
Nordic curls. We're gonna do this on a machine. You can also do this, either put your leg under a barbell and put a pad there, or you can have a partner hold down the back of your legs. The key is you are basically lifting your upper body and utilizing hamstring contraction to do so. So the thing is, hamstring curls are fine. Not hating on them. I just don't think they're good for long-term back integrity. And I also don't think they're good for just the overall physiological build of the human body. They're not bad. I just think there's better. There's good, better, best.
Yeah, they're good. You know, like you're saying, people that do those hamstring curls, they don't even pause at the top. They don't keep constant tension. They literally, they do them, but when they do them, they do this. They wrench your lower back, and this is completely taking out your lower back.
I have all my athletes do this. It's a must-do. Lunges, not every athlete does them because I just don't have enough time with most of my athletes. My kids do them. Hex bar deadlifts, all my athletes do. This is something every single athlete who passes through Lobliner's course of getting faster does. So you come in here, come down, up, full extension and contraction. That squeeze, it's hard. Some people can't do these. If you can't do these, stick to leg curls, work your way up. These are tough, really tough.
This is a really informative piece of information I'm about to give you guys, but that man out there that can slam a revolving door shut and sleep upside down, known as Chuck Norris, this is how he does it.
He's not a man, he's a god.
He's a god.
Never ever insult Chuck Norris.
Another thing, maybe before you do these, if you're new to starting out, maybe do like some kettlebell straight leg deads just to warm up, so then that, because this is pretty intense on your hamstrings.
Yeah, it is so.
And you can totally.
If you've never done these before, prepare for the worst case scenario of burn. It feels like your hamstring's gonna rip off the tendon.
That look okay?
Yeah, it looks fine to me. So again, you look, he's not moving his waist. It's just basically a hamstring curl. Again, you don't get much better than this for hamstring development. You don't get better than this for hamstring isolation, period. Posterior chain. See a lot of, there's a new focus on the butt. I like the butt. However, you also tend to lose focus of overall development of the lower body. And that's gonna lead to tremendous imbalances and also just look silly when you got this humongous backside and no quads or nothing. So, and you also gotta look at your body as a chain. You know, you gotta look at your body as one fluid chain. And when you have something that's so overworked, and let's say your upper body isn't taken over, for example, when we do overhead lunges, you know, that's using your body, working your body in a chain, which prevents imbalances, because it's great. You're in your 20s, you got a little Instagram channel going, you know, you're selling those slimming tees, I get it, you're making money, you got a big butt. But when you're like 40, you're not gonna be pretty anymore, just saying. Not gonna be that pretty where you're gonna be able to sell slimming tees. Might be able to sell some wrinkle cream, but at the end of the day, you gotta pay attention to that. For dudes, you know, you gotta train your legs. I'm sorry, you just gotta do it. Not just for the fact that you don't wanna look like you're humping a chicken when you walk, but also for the fact that, hey, it's all about balance. You're not gonna build your best upper body if you don't have a lower body. So from a hypertrophy standpoint, or from a functionality and just feeling good and being healthy standpoint, you need that. So that's why it's good to have the perspective of someone who deals pre and post injury like Colton to come in and add some insight to this.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely, again, working with people over the past 12 years, it all comes down, whether it's a chronic shoulder issue, chronic neck or anything, the hips don't lie. I don't know a lot about Jane Fonda, but I know she was involved with that movie, that video, Buns of Steel.
Yeah,
I think she had something going there.
Yeah, you know? Like buns.
Buns, for sure.
Yeah, she was into big asses before big asses were thing.
That's what I'm saying, and you know, so with that.
Now Shakira.
Yeah, now Shakira, you know, Shakira probably watched her video when she was growing up or something like that.
That's what she was inspired.
But yeah, definitely what Mark's saying, man. You got to train the hips. You can't neglect the upper or the lower body. Just so your upper body, it looks silly, and even more than that, man. I mean, when you train that lower body, you're gonna improve your natural test levels just because you're training so much more musculature, no? I mean,
there's a lot of things that happen when you train whole body, total body. Squats and obviously deadlifts, the more muscle you work, the better. So you're looking at not only increased insulin sensitivity, you're looking at an acute, I can argue it doesn't do much, but it does something, an acute testosterone and growth hormone response. And the ability, you know, you have syndrome X, insulin resistance, because a lot of people watch this, they train hard, but you still eat like shit because food's tasty. Now, what happens is, if you eat like shit too long, your insulin goes up and down, up and down, up and down, you develop something called insulin resistance or syndrome X. What weight training helps do, it improves something called your GLUT4 receptors. Your GLUT4 receptors, by activating those, it helps to prevent or to treat or to cure some forms of insulin resistance. And that is not just for body fat, because I can argue that insulin doesn't matter with body fat. I can argue both sides if you force me to. For sure. But I can say that just feeling good throughout the day, if you're able to eat a meal and not crash because you're insulin resistant, you're in a much better spot.
Absolutely, 100%.
Hey, look, we're at the basement gym in St. Charles, Illinois. My man Colton, he comes here, he does some work here. He also has a practice that he works at, so he does work in a clinical setting as well. But if you have any injuries, ouchies, if you want to prevent ouchies, you just want to be the best you ever, his information, as always, when he's in the videos, will be down below. You can follow him on Instagram at thatwhitemansass, would be his, what is your, Colton Anderson, DC?
You said it, yeah. Colton Anderson, DC.
Yeah. Did you get that point yet, or are we just going to roll with that?
Yeah, no, I did get that point.
Okay.
Yes. Real quick.
Don't lose it.
Real quick. So, you know, one thing that was commentary in one of the videos we said, you know, with the chest training as well, was that you can fix the lower back with chest training. And, you know, if you're going to a doctor, if you're going to a physical therapist, I don't care who you're going to out there, if you have a shoulder issue and they're just working on your shoulder and they're not touching your hips, you're not going to get 100% better. I guess that's the point, and I don't mean to be like that, but I've just seen it so much, and the global approach to the body is huge. You can't just do a structural approach when you're rehabbing. That was my little rant, just because I'm in that field and I see that every day.
You know what, and I'm going to take that a step further. I'm okay throwing shade at people who deserve shade. I say if you have, you know, I coach diet and training and all that stuff.
Yeah.
If you have a coach who only checks in weekly, fire him because he doesn't give a shit about your progress. If you have a coach that tells you need to eat fish at meal 2 because it thins your skin, fire them. You know, if you have a coach who tells you have to do fasted cardio, fire him, because it shows a fundamental misunderstanding of how science and the body works. And if they got that wrong, who knows what else they're getting wrong. It's pretty simple to get someone shredded, but what happens to their overall health when that happens? And again, it's pretty easy to make you feel better. I can make you feel better with a pain pill. I can make you feel better with heroin, with morphine, with whatever, but you're not going to get to the issue. You got to address the issue. You know, if you're getting ready for a show, that's great, show's over, what do? You know what I mean? If you have back pain, okay, you fixed your back pain, what happens when it comes back? What do we prevent it from coming back? And that's what we're doing here. Look, all you good bros out there, and I'm one of them, you go in there, leg press, deadlift, squat, leg press, deadlift, squat, bench press, blah, 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 blah. Imbalances, you're gonna have issues. And then you're gonna be sitting there at 38, 39 years old like me, wondering why the fuck your body hurts. We're trying to prevent that. And for you older cats like me, start doing this shit now. Whether you're hurting or you're not hurting, this will prevent the hurt. And that's all we're saying.
Moderation's key.
Yes.
That'd be the huge takeaway.
Except for sex. Can you really have too much sex?
No.
Okay. Moderation is key. That's a good shirt.
I like
what? Sex?
Well, yeah. I hope I would like that. I love that. I don't dislike that, but no, that is a good key. And
moderation or sex? Oh. I'm confused. Okay.
No, the moderation. Everyone's, because now you're hearing moderation is everything now, but you do need that excess amount of sex, right?
Well, I mean, sex,
and that would be a phenomenal.
You know what? I'm going to address this topic right now. I get a lot of. I want to hear your opinion on this. I'm going to go off topic. So I get a lot of things. There's this no fat movement. These guys do not masturbate or have sex. They think it increases their performance. Okay, wait, hold on, I'm not done. So check it out. So these guys are literally saying that the question is, can you masturbate or have sex before training or after training or even in a training phase? Kind of like the old boxers, it weakens your knees, right?
It depends, you know. Like, I mean,
like
what if you're walking into a boxing ring and you have, you know, I don't mean to be like it, but what if you have blue balls and you walk into a boxing ring and it's all in your head, you didn't get that release before you went and box, you're gonna get knocked out because you're thinking about something else, right? I mean, I think it all goes back in the cave era? Like, do you think it was like, hey babe, I can't have sex, I gotta go slay the, you know, not the T-Rex, but the mammoth. I have to go throw the spear at the mammoth. No, man, it was just, it happened. I think again, you know, not to be funny, but not to be funny. And then you have the cortisol, right? Like, okay, what if you have all this excess cortisol in your body and you dampen that level by this huge release, you know? Or the fact that, why again are we trying to take something that's natural, primitive, and controlled as a human being?
Kind of like leg extension or better than squats. See where I'm going here? Sort of, he kind of took it there. But it's primitive, right? Like, you have the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, procreation, roof, shelter, like, procreation is so high up there.
It has
your
to be.
body.
That's how we survive.
So like my whole thing is, it's
don't dampen. So here, let's do a scenario here. This is like, you know, back in the cave eras. Hey babe, tell you what, when I get back, after I kill that animal, we're gonna procreate. What if he never comes back? Maybe he got killed out there and he could have procreated before he left to at least have a young one to live on. And if all of us thought like that back in that day, and we procreated after we went hunting, but what if that dangerous hunting trip killed the person that was going to procreate? We wouldn't all be here today.
Yeah.
So thank God they didn't think like that back then, right?
And so what I'm getting out of this, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that we should never wear condoms or use protection. I get it. All right, so Dr. Anderson says no protection. That's exactly what I got. Anyway, guys, so the moral of the story is work your posterior chain, don't neglect your legs, don't wear condoms. That's not a game.